So then, now we know how to create objects using object literal notation like this. What I'd like to do is go back to this array right here, which is the blogs. And instead of storing strings in the array for each blog, I'd like to store an object in each array for a blog. So if you think about it, a blog is more than just a title. It might have a title, maybe a number of likes, an author, etc. So it makes sense to store each blog as an object instead of just a simple string, and we can do that in arrays. So just like we can store strings, numbers, booleans inside arrays, we can also store objects inside arrays. So first of all, let's do an example at the top. I'm going to create a constant called blogs, and I'm going to set this equal to an array. And inside this array, I'm going to place two objects. So I'm going to enter down to a new line just to make this more readable. And the first element inside this array is going to be an object. And inside that object, we're going to have a title property. The title for the first one is going to be Why Mac and Cheese Rules. And then we're also going to have a likes property, which we'll set to 30. Now we could have other properties such as content and author and stuff like that, but I'm going to keep this simple for now. So this object is the first element inside this array, much like this string is the first element inside this array. So remember, elements are comma separated inside arrays. So let's do a comma. Let's do our second element inside the array, which is also an object, which represents another blog. And we'll have a title property for this. This title is going to be 10 things to make with Marmite. And we'll paste that in here. And then we're also going to have a likes property, which is going to be 50 right here. So now we have this blogs array. Let me just log this to the console. So console.log and blogs. So if we save this, we can see now we have this array with two elements inside it. Each one you can see is an object. And when we expand this, the first one is this object and the second one is this object. So storing objects inside arrays is absolutely fine. And a lot of the time in the future, when we start to work with data, this is the format that we'll be using, because when we retrieve data from a database, it's going to be in some form of object format in an array. For example, we might have a movie website and we might have a collection of movies. Now, when we retrieve that collection of movies, we're going to have it in a format which is like an array of objects, where each object would be a single movie. And then we could cycle through those and do something with each individual movie. So regardless of the data, this is going to be a very common format, an array of objects. So now we've seen how to do that. Let's now copy these two things and paste them down in here. So I'm going to delete the strings, come onto a new line and paste these objects inside. So now we have this new array of objects, which is the blogs. I'm going to comment this stuff out, and then I'm going to come down here and inside log blogs, now we want to instead log the title and the likes. So we'll say blog.title and also blog.likes, because now each blog here is going to represent the object, okay, as we cycle through. So we can use the title and the likes on that blog object. So let's save it and see if this works. And we can see an error, blogs is not defined. So that's probably because we're still logging this to the console, which we are. So comment that out and then save again. And now we should see this. So we can see this sentence first of all, and then the two different blogs with the likes as well.